I'm such an idiot.
They can see that.
I know. That's the kind of Friday I'm having.
It has been a week.
Hi, buddy.
It has been a week. But anytime we can end a week with some whiskey,
We have many here.
not so bad a week. We do. We have lots of whiskeys. I don't know why we started talking about it. I guess you saw these Saffells up at... Well, hello, everybody.
Hi.
And before we forget, there will be no Friday Sips Live next Friday.
We'll both be out of town.
Yes, my wife and I will be driving around national parks.
I will be standing in a very cold, dusty field in California. Long story. Not by myself.
But anyway, you ran across some of those Saffells, which I've always wanted to try. That and the Bond and Lillard. I thought some of those were at a store I go to. It was the Bond and Lillard, and I read a little bit and something about charcoal filtering, and I just decided to pass. But then you went back to get them. They were gone, but you found some today. Not that you were roaming around a liquor store in the morning.
I would never do that.
I don't know why you'd be doing such a thing.
Not me, no.
So we bought a couple, and we thought it'd be fun to sip it. I have an amazing headache at the moment.
Named me.
No, not you.
No, a
different headache than I usually have whiskey on Friday. My eyes are watering, and I'm having trouble talking.
All right, well, I'll talk for a little bit.
Remember, if something happens dramatic, watch the comments so Eric can get us set up and call my wife.
All right. Well,
anyway, we're going to drink.
Let's talk about...
Wild Turkey produced. The first batches, none of the Russells had anything to do with it. Dan didn't know which batch he was buying this morning. We spent 30 minutes trying to figure it out before we noticed there's a big batch number one in front of the bottle. So, clearly, we're not fired on all cylinders.
We're Fridaying very hard today.
We're Fridaying extremely hard today. But it's well regarded. It came out of the Wild Turkey Distillery. It's 107 proof, I believe.
Yes, correct.
107 proof. And, it's bourbon.
Bourbon. It's Wild Turkey product.
It's little tiny bottles that cost $50, so $100 effective price points. But you only live once, so you buy the bottle twice. So we bought 2 of those.
There was 12 of them, so like the restraint that we exercised
could have been worse.
Yeah. So the batch 1 has gotten quite good reviews, but the batch 2 I think got even better reviews. But we do not have the batch 2. And
Eddie Russell was involved in the second one. I don't know the extent or why or what would make that any different.
This is part of like the
Whiskey Barons.
The Barons series, yeah, which got really middling reviews in general.
Because there was another one,
that was
initially that nobody liked.
Nobody liked it. Yeah. Somebody online said he did a great job picking a 101 single barrel.
Well, what's his name? David Jennings is his name. Rare Bird 101. He likened the Bond and Lillard to essentially the Long Branch, like 100 proof Long Branch that was out. So.
All right, so should we crack one open first, or do we want to try a baseline first?
I'm going to go straight to it.
Straight to it. So the reviews that I've read on this, some were just saying it's a good expression of Wild Turkey. Others were saying it's the best. It's comparable to the legendary Russell's Reserve 2002, which I don't know.
That was 20 years ago.
It's a long time ago. I assume it's legendary.
You just got your driver's license.
I wish.
Look, Bender got to come hang out with us.
Bender!
Larry, Eric, Kathy, Anthony's here. Anthony's is it tough, Anthony, to go back to the other side of the camera?
Here you go. Are we pour camming?
My finger was on it, but I didn't press it. Does that count?
That counts. You got a headache.
Wait a second. It's even the wrong camera. Let's, God damn. Let's see. Let's just go. There you go. Full screen. We're going. No more picture in picture.
Well, you'll be happy to know I poured half of it onto my computer. So, all right. So, Tinky Tink, very straw colored, light. Not nearly as dark as I was expecting, I guess, out of the... Well, I guess the bottle is already... Yeah.
That's
Is it wheat colored?
That was almost dropped it.
Ooh.
Like shot
You are.
shot it right out of the bottom.
You need to lay down. We could set you up on the floor over there. We'll put a camera on you.
Yeah, poor Anthony. He's got to go back to the other side of the camera.
All right. Larry Saffell, WB Saffell was a distiller yonder in Lawrenceburg, I believe.
You'll be shocked to know that they've pulled some ridiculous story from 300 years ago and used it as the name of a whiskey.
Would you believe that?
It's crazy.
Someday there will be a Mark and Dan whiskey, and they'll be like, years and years ago, the fine palates of Super Taster Dan and Headache Guy Mark. That's pretty underwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Did you keep the receipt?
It did. It's good.
It's different. It doesn't taste like a straight up wild turkey whiskey.
No, but you definitely get hints of like, and I mean, geez, if we put this next to 101, I bet we would taste a lot of similar notes.
Yeah.
A lot of oak on the nose.
Yeah, it's very warm and baking spicy.
It's got a nice mouthfeel. It's pleasant, but it's not big. Yeah. It's pleasant. I don't think it's $100 bottle.
No.
I mean, these are 50. These today I paid. I think they were 53 out the door each. But they're 375s. They're small. Yeah, I don't know. There's just not a lot of wow. It's good. I don't know.
I sure wish you hadn't goaded into me buying two of those.
I goaded.
You did. You goaded. You said just one. I was like, God damn, Dan, back off. Okay, two.
As we all know, just one. This is a real high pressure sales pitch.
My arm still hurts from me twisting it.
Twisting it, yeah. I don't know. I think this is a pleasant sipper, but it's not $53 good.
Agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, $106.
$106 if you're comparing it to, or $250. Mark brought this, which we have a responsibility to taste.
That's why I brought it.
Yeah.
I want us to be able to exercise our responsibility.
So for you, I mean, where does this, just initial impressions before we even taste anything else, where does it fall as compared to like our baseline 101?
I'm going to call that more enjoyable and interesting than 101.
Mm-hmm.
I will stop short of...
Please don't shart.
I'll stop short of saying it's as good as that Russell single barrel. I do not believe it's that good.
I would agree, but this is also... Oh, it's only 3 proof points higher. So this will be the next... We should test this next.
Okay.
Test. We know we don't have.
We don't have a dunk glass.
We don't have a dunk glass. I'll get it.
Which I haven't posted a dunk glass video in weeks. I don't know why.
That's all the more reason for us to have a dunk glass, right? So we have...
Yeah, Larry, I agree. I'm seeing more 375s as well. And like Jack Daniels made the move to 700 millimeter bottles to quietly ahead of the curve, too.
Milliliter.
Oh, golly, that's...
Yeah, we're fancy today because
Make sure you keep your pinky up as you're pouring stuff in the dunk glass.
The mason jar is inside, so I'm not going all the way inside. It's good.
It's good, but I think you have to look towards the flavors rather than the fat mouthfeel we were hoping for, because it's not quite there.
Yeah. There's nothing offensive about it.
No,
except for the price.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I would buy this at $25, but 53 is too much.
No, the marginal difference isn't that bad.
All right. But moving on to compare it to the Russell's private barrel selection. This one is from Hazel's, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is 3 proof points.
3 of those things.
3 proof points.
3. It's 3 of those things.
We have not yet even begun to drink it. 3 proof points higher. It is a single barrel, and I don't know if it's age stated.
It is. I think that one's around 9 years old.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a more reliable.
I think I read these are 9 or 10 years old too.
Why do you think there's such a price difference between the Russell stuff and things like this? And, you know, even the rare breeds are.
I think it's just all over the place based on the marketing and what they think they can get for it.
Yeah.
Color's very similar.
It is. This is a little darker, I would say. But it's still that same sort of straw golden color.
Nose is very, very similar.
This is sweeter, I think. Sweeter nose.
Much sweeter on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say different, not necessarily better.
I would say slightly better. I just get a little bit more. The flavors stick around longer with this.
Well, I think it's hard to know. We just sipped it, but I think it's just stickier on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
But flavor-wise, I don't think it's any better. I think the flavor, I might even say the flavor of that's more interesting.
I like just a little hit of something candied on this.
It's definitely sweeter.
The Russells.
Yeah.
I prefer that. Oh, yes, we have our fancy camera. So I prefer the little bit of candied.
It's actually a cheaper camera, but it looks cool with that.
They don't know that.
Oh, it's a fancy camera.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think this has just a touch of sweetness that I like. But yeah, you're right. The flavors are pretty similar, and they stick around about the same amount. The mouthfeel's not big.
It's not as sweet or it's not as syrupy on the tongue when it first hits. That's the shocking thing. After that, it settles down, and I think the finish is more pleasant from a flavor standpoint on that.
The schnoz report is the Russell's has a slightly bigger nose with a little bit more sugar and yeah. I like the nose better on this one.
Eric retracted a message.
He says he's not heard anyone raving about it, so he hasn't made an effort to seek it out.
And then he retracted that. Kathy's after our hearts. Rare breed all day long.
I know.
I think pretty much just say that anytime. That's
just making up for her devastating body slam of an insult last week on me.
What was that?
She questioned my super taster credentials
because it's nonsense. Because she's smart.
Yeah. We don't need that around here, smart people.
Stop all that bullshit detection, Kathy. If we wanted reality.
Seriously, that's not why we do this. Funny enough, Anthony got to what? Oh man, another Kathy. I thought we were friends. Anthony got to peek behind the curtain last week, and all he could say was smaller than I expected. It's like, I
think what he meant was, I'm not sure why I show up to this. I have more appreciation for that against that.
I think I'm still Team Russells, but I'd like to take another swig of that later after we've tasted a couple others.
You're also talking about a $30 difference ounce for ounce.
Yeah, I mean, I am really put off by the price of this.
Yes. I can tell.
But, also the batch 2 is one that Eddie or Jimmy, one of them Eddie had involvement in. So if you see the batch 2, I'd be interested to try and
especially if you like to trade it for one of the batch 1s.
Yeah, hey, look at that. That one's not even open yet. All right. Rare breed is going to be 116.8.
Even more proofs.
More proofings.
Let's try that.
All right.
I was about to suggest we go back to the Saffell and just alternate back and forth.
We could do that. There's more glasses up there, You just have a reserve glass of Saffell.
We'll just take clearly Kathy's the smartest person in the room, and she says rare breed all day. Let's have some rare breed.
Can I tell you something troubling?
Sure.
I saw today, and actually twice now, 2 different liquor stores, I have seen rare breed now behind glass in a case.
Yeah, Atlas Valley's had it back. In fact, they're charging $75 for rare breed rye.
Yeah. I love me some rare breed.
Very similar nose.
Let's try not to jack it up in price like crazy. So yeah, this has the sweet nose too, but this is more muted than the Russells. That's
the best of the three.
I agree. It's got a little bit more temperament. It balances out the flavors a little bit.
Which is weird, being even higher proof.
Yeah. It's like a more caramel. Like, it's just mellowed out a little bit. I don't know. Kathy, I'm a super sniffer, okay?
He's a super complainer.
Well, that's funny because last time we tasted these side by side, you actually chose the Russells.
I did.
Yeah.
I can't be trusted.
No, clearly.
I think that's just the nature of something that's all about the senses.
Yeah.
We can't trust our senses.
Well, and yeah, I mean, it changes. The bottle's been open. So funny enough, I went back to the Stag Junior just before we started recording today, and I still don't like it.
He was hoping, Anthony, that we'd open today and go, oh, no, it's really not the third.
Amazing.
It's not the worst of those three. I thought it was better today than it was the other day.
I thought it was worse.
That Dave Co. Stag pick was just lights out delicious.
Agree. I went back to my bottle of Stag, and I actually did not. I'm going to dare I say I did not enjoy the pour.
Yeah. Blind tasting is all about it.
All right. So far we are
Kathy alone. She's the one beating up on Dan.
Sitting here bleeding, got a black eye.
He's trying to leave her alone. She just keeps whacking him.
All right. So in order.
Oh, hey, look, Anthony's got 54. Anthony, I got 2 rare breed ryes at Costco for $48 a piece not long ago.
Beat that. All right. Do we want to go back to the Saffell, or do we want to go straight to Rick House? I feel like we should,
to the Saffell.
Yeah, I feel like we should go to Saffell. I've always loved the rare breed, and I'm sticking to it. And I think last time I still said I would stick with this one over this one, the Russells, even though they're both great. But
that's good.
Yeah. All right. Kathy says she feels like my mom in this group. I'll tell you what, Kathy, you're right. And we've actually had my mom on the show.
And your dad.
And my dad, yeah. It's a family affair here at Practical Still. All right, so back to Saffell. Should we rinse out? Should we
yes,
water?
Let's cleanse them.
Cleanse thy palate. All right. Refreshing.
Delicious water.
All right. Back to Saffell. This is the only bottle so far that has spilled on my computer. Twice. Clink. All right.
It's grassy.
I was going to say my favorite thing. Grappa. I'm like all of the annoyances today.
At least that's the first time you said grappa in a few weeks.
Nose is still pretty remarkably similar.
Much sweeter this time. Still light across the pen. Those are good flavors, though. I like it better now.
I like it about the same. Well, I get less ethanol this time, which is nice. More of the flavor. They are nice flavors.
It is. It's sweety and a little sweet and a little vegetal.
Yeah. I'm still team rare breed.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm still not excited that I bought 2 of those.
But
it could have been worse because when I thought those were at one of the stores that we don't buy, I hardly ever buy whiskey there anymore, but we buy food. And I thought that's what they had, but they had the Bond and Lillard, and I left it on the shelf. So what could have happened was I could have bought 2 of those and 2 of those. And if I don't like that one that much, I probably wouldn't like the Bond and Lillard. So it could be another $100 worse.
Well, Bond and Lillard has not gotten even remotely the reviews that these have gotten.
Yeah.
So, and we're just kind of mediocre on this.
Yeah.
Perhaps that saved you some money in the long run. But also, just to kick you in the shins a little bit, Anthony says, you could have saved some money and he would have given us samples of WB Saffell.
Well, how did you not offer that and know that's what I was thinking? Can you not read minds?
He's got a headache, everybody.
I do. But thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you.
Anthony, you're just gonna have to come over again.
I like to report on a back to the bottle report. Because last night I got into the last little bit of the Leaper's Fork.
Oh yeah,
bottled and bond Tennessee whiskey that we both liked.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we liked it at the $75 or 80 or whatever I paid for that. It was delicious last night, and it was I killed the bottle.
Wait, was that the rye or the
It's the rye and the mash bill Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, okay.
It was delicious.
Also, speaking of ryes, I don't know if Scott's here today, but he wants to send us some Pennsylvania ryes.
Okay.
Again, the arm twisting. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God.
That's as bad as you and the only one.
I'm just saying, we could run a really successful.
Okay, Anthony, I get it. You gave me the list, and I didn't ask. It's all on me. Okay.
Just one should be another T-shirt.
Do you have the batch 1 or batch 2, Anthony?
Oh, that would be good, Anthony. If you got batch 2, we should do a comparison.
Yes. You can tell because there's a really big 1 or 2 right there.
I seriously looked for like a half hour online. I was like, how do you tell? How do you tell if it's batch 1? It's literally a 1 right there.
I like this a lot better now. I'm still not digging the price tag, but at least it's enjoyable.
I like it a little better.
I like it a fair amount better. And so obviously what I should do, anytime I drink that, I should first drink some Russell single barrel, some rare breed, and then that. And then I'll always like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it a little bit because I'm a super taster, so I tasted all this the first time.
You are forbidden from saying that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the nose is remarkably similar, I would say, to the rare breed. The Russell's has a little bit more sweet on the nose, candied feel to it. I still say rare breed all day long as the top choice.
I don't know. That's coming on. I'm starting to really like it.
Ooh, he's got a batch 1. He says, "Do I smell another blind video coming on?" I think he does.
Well, we have batch 1s though.
Oh yeah,
We'd want a batch 2 to blend it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's smart. Even with a headache, you're pretty smart.
I have my moments.
I don't know. I'm still just not wowed enough with the price of this to say I would buy this over anything else.
I will say, because at 100, effectively 100, we're still 75 or $80 away from the Master's Keep releases, which all the Master's Keep bourbons have been quite good.
Yeah. This would be good against a Long Branch if they're still around.
Well, Long Branch was a $35. It was okay.
Well, that's what I mean, though.
It's just a low proof. I don't think it's even close. The Bond and Lillard would be because it's charcoal filtered, and then I think they ran that Long Branch through some mesquite and all the other stuff because McConaughey's the Texan, I guess.
Right. All right. They do still have some Bond and Lillard at Spirits if we wanted to plunk down another $50.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I will pass.
And that's the thing, right? From a practicality standpoint, which is our shtick.
Yes.
I'm not buying these.
No. And you didn't.
I didn't.
Oh, well, you did for a few minutes.
I did. It's always my favorite thing about whiskey. Oh, we lost Porkham. My favorite thing about whiskey is spending Mark's money. That's been my favorite thing ever about all of this. So, Mark, this leaves us with everybody's favorite.
We can't be without Porkham.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can you swap us out?
I can. How do you think this is going to hold up against the heaviest hitter of all of them?
I don't know. And you might find this surprising, but I think you like that bottle more than I do.
I do not find that surprising. I am here for you if you just need to... Oh, I just turned Porkham off. Never mind.
No, you did. You just changed the mode. So hold it down, turn it off.
No, I'm going to get it. Yeah! I did something. Yeah. All right. So you've been back to this.
Once.
Once, really? So you're just not that impressed with it? This is the single rick house, by the way, for those of you who are not able to see.
Show them in the
fancy cam.
So this is a single rick house. It's a Camp Nelson C, which is Wild Turkey geeks lose their mind over Camp Nelson C warehouse bottles. I like it. It is just not $250 worth, but it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. Somebody else, one of the reviews I read said that they thought there was Camp Nelson C in this, and I can't imagine that.
I'm coming on strong with that one. I think I'm going to end up liking it.
All right. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's do the thing. All right.
It's dramatic.
Thank you.
Beans and cork pops. And
Yeah, we could do like a radio show, like War of the Worlds, all the sound effects.
You mean like a podcast or something?
Some people might call it a podcast. The youngins, the youths, if you will. All right,
The kids.
the kids.
The kids are calling it.
Wow, the nose is totally different. That smells good.
Pretty good.
I mean, that is different. That's next level.
It is.
That is next level. Everything is bigger.
It's a little dry, though. It's very good. It is just not $250. That was a cash grab right there.
Man, I don't know. That's really good.
A little licorice on the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, $250. I don't think any bottle's worth $250, to be honest. But I think,
I don't know. There's been a couple.
what?
The Batch 1 Rye, Kentucky Owl.
But you didn't pay $250 for that, did you?
I paid $325 for that one that I bought because I didn't want to open the first one, which is the dumbest reason in the world to spend too much money on a bottle of whiskey.
Very true.
I don't want to open this one
Yeah.
that I paid $120 for. I'll go buy another one. In my defense, I also, I don't want to say I sold bottles because that's against the rules, but I also sold some bottles to cover that cost that I didn't care about. Sold a bunch of Elijah Craig barrel proofs that I don't really care for.
Those were not great.
Yeah.
I think if this was on the shelf for even 150, 175, I'd be tempted every time. 250 is that's a lot of money for me. This is really excellent. I mean, this is next level. And we talked about that Russell's 13, the one I had.
I still think the first batch of that I had is better than that.
I think, without tasting them side by side, it's hard to tell, but those two were exceptional.
But when we first drank that first batch of the Russell's 13, it was, there were unicorns and angels singing. And
I get a couple unicorns and at least one angel.
Yeah, I don't.
At least one angel.
It's very good, but it is just not.
A donkey? There's like a donkey in there?
No, Anthony, no Kentucky Spirit. I'm out of open bottles of Kentucky Spirit.
Although we've repeatedly sung the praises of that too.
It's to me that dollar for dollar enjoyment, all the things, hard to beat a good single barrel Kentucky Spirit.
Kathy says you can get a really good bottle of scotch for less than $250, and that's very true.
That is.
But we're talking, that's the thing, right? Bourbon seems to be kind of growing up a little bit.
Well, but remember a while back we were going to have a whiskey night.
Yeah.
And we all decided to pitch in.
Yeah.
Was it $75 a piece
like
for three? So $225 was our price point.
Couldn't find anything.
We couldn't find any bourbon, which is what we were shooting for, that the three of us would like, that any of us thought would be remotely worth $225. And so we bought $200 bottles a barrel. Yeah. And had a great time.
We did.
And I think that would fall into that. Now, if we had bought that, I think we'd be pretty happy with it. But I don't think it's just not a $250 bottle of bourbon to me.
Larry, which bottle are you talking about? $100 bottle with a $150 label? This one? Because
it's a $100 bottle with $250. But yeah, the concept's correct.
I get what you're saying.
It's very good though. None of it's going in the dump glass.
No, I mean this is, if you compare it to any of these, and by extension, so
the nose of the rare breed's better.
Really? You think so?
I think so. You might want to, look at that other little glass.
No, you're right.
Let's just pour it.
No, actually, I don't know. That's a tough call, actually. Because this has a really...
There's just more ethanol on the nose of the Rickhouse.
Larry, I don't know how to add. Don't be crazy. So you think the single Rickhouse has more ethanol? I like that
nose better.
Oh yeah.
There's more flavor and less ethanol in the wild turkey nose. I mean, in the rare breed nose than there is the rickhouse.
This is more of a not cloning. That's the wrong word. But
yes, Larry, that would be correct math then.
I don't know. Sure. Yeah, you're right. The nose on the rare breed is better.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little less complex if you can dig deep, but just sniffing and sipping.
I actually do get there's actually slightly more ethanol in the rare breed than
I disagree.
So you got to sniff them side by side, and many times. Now that my nose has been all over that glass, you see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But I think that nose is on first blush more appealing.
Yeah. So I mean, let's put them side by side though. So you've got this single rick house versus this, which is, you add this up, we'll say $106 for this as to apples on this.
Just say 100 because if you put tax on that, it goes up too.
Well, but tax was on top of that, wasn't it?
I sent you 1.7. So yeah.
So $106, $250. Is this 100 and I shouldn't have done
okay. Sip it though.
It's
very good, but it is so far away from what that feels like on the tongue. Well, this is so much better.
What is that one?
The rickhouse.
Yeah, and this is the rare breed.
Yeah. The noses are closer than the palate. Like that's really good, but
that's not even close.
It's not even close.
Not even close. So I'm saying, I mean, this maybe $250 is hard to swallow when we wouldn't buy it again, but I think this is a $250 bottle.
I think I'll say I would not buy that again at $250, but really and truly, not like when I said I wouldn't buy it the first time, and then I did as soon as I had an opportunity.
Do go on.
Trust me. I would not buy that again for $250.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think if I saw this on the shelf, even at $250, I'd be really, really tempted. I would probably buy it.
You'd be really, really tempted to send me a text and say I bought another one for $250.
Just one?
Just one?
I'm telling you, man, we need to open a t-shirt company. We're sitting in a gold mine. Just one?
Yes, I'm sure we could have
we would sell at least 4 t-shirts.
Here, let me do this. I'm looking at another pile of t-shirts we already bought.
Yeah, it looks nice over there, doesn't it?
I cannot recall. Help me. Have we made any money off of those t-shirts, and those hats that are
those ones right over there?
Those ones right.
Those ones.
Those ones, yeah.
Let me add.
How are we doing on the profit and loss statement?
Hang on, let me carry the one. No, we have not.
Yes, Anthony. If we were to split the cost of a bottle and share it, and that's the key part. We got to share it. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'd go for that. I mean, although I already had this one, so why don't we come on over? We'll just drink some.
Well, listen, if this shows up on the shelf, buy the thing. Buy it. Like we'll split the cost or whatever. But like, don't pass it up if you have the money.
I'm gonna pass it next time.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I swear I am.
Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna go there and be like, "Hey, look at me! I'm passing this up," and I'm like, "Fucking buy that thing."
No, I'm not. I'm gonna pass it up.
You're not gonna pass it up.
I am.
You're gonna buy it for Dan. I just think that is exceptional. And yes, okay, so let's talk about versus the batch one of the Russell's 13. You ain't getting that again.
No. But they're just not even, they're not the same feel.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's very good.
It is. I'm getting, just a lot of the complexity that we got with that batch one, quite a lot of the wow factor.
It's just that, man, I'll never forget that day.
Well, but
it was the day I got married, the day my 2 kids were born, the day we sipped that, the day I met you, the day we sipped that.
The day we bought our t-shirts.
The day we bought a truckload of t-shirts that we're not going to ever get our money back on.
You sure you want to be friends with me?
Look, it's pricey, but I've spent more.
I don't know. I would say this beats the batch 2. Would you say that, of the Russell's 13, my bottle?
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. Because we did that side by side.
Yeah.
And this is definitely better than that. And I just don't think that batch 1, that is not going to happen again.
No, I think, and you figured that out because you got some intel, but I think they slipped some very old, perfectly balanced old bourbon in that one that they just don't have to slip in these other batches.
And there's nothing saying that they won't do the same thing here, you know?
Well, no, but they just looked around and went, look, Wild Turkey geeks are just in love with Camp Nelson and this idea of this rick house. Let's give them something they can pay a lot of money for.
Well, look,
And guess what we all did?
all of these bottles are aged in Camp Dan Rick House 1. So if you want to buy these...
Camp Cavallari flows off the tongue, baby.
Camp Cavallari, Rick House B. Whatever.
This section of the garage.
This part of
A
this corner.
section is over there.
Yeah.
Actually, we should do B over there because we do bicycle.
True. Yeah. So if you want to overprice...
Camp W.
Yeah, all of these are 6 times...
Camp B, Camp Bourbon.
Yeah. 6 times retail, I feel like seems fair. Yeah. I don't know. Are you back to the Saffell? What do you think? After sipping the Rick House.
I still like the nose. It holds up better to that than the Rare Breed did.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
It holds up quite well.
What's the difference?
Because it's the flavors. There's more going on. There's cinnamon and there's like nutmeg and other baking spices in there.
On the Saffell?
Yeah.
Versus the Rare Breed?
Yeah.
Weren't you just saying you liked the Rare Breed?
I like the nose better, but when we tasted those together, there's no question this is better.
Oh, yeah.
That was just thinner and more, more single flavored. There's just more going on in that.
So you're saying bam, bam, bam?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I'll go back to the Saffell again. Maybe, what am I missing? What is it? I don't know.
You just don't know how to taste things like I do.
I'm a taster flunky. I went from super taster to super villain. Okay, so now to me, the Saffell, the ethanol is coming out big time on the nose.
I think that's getting better. It's not this. There's just like orange peel in it. Mm-hmm. It's got just the tiniest little hint of that licorice that's on the end of that.
I would say this is better after drinking this.
Yeah, which stands up closer to that than anything else we had today.
And that's really saying something. After drinking something that I consider much, much, much better, this tastes...
Well, you tell me without, what do you think now that you just went straight back to that from the single Rick House?
I mean, it's definitely not as wow. No. I mean, but you wouldn't expect that for half the price. I think what happens is the flavors spread out over the tongue more with this now. And I think, I don't know if it has something to do with this, influencing this, but now you get more of the Saffell flavors spreading over the tongue. And I think that makes this feel or taste more complex than perhaps it was at first.
Maybe the dryness of that.
Yeah.
That little bit of dry oak opens you up to the sweetness there.
But you don't get the dry oak on this?
I do now, but I don't know if it's that or if it's the influence of this, because I didn't get that the first time.
I would say this has more of the dry oak flavor than this, because I tasted that the first time on this. Kathy wants to know Saffell over Rare Breed, and I think you'd have to go back.
At this moment, yeah, I'm saying Saffell over Rare Breed.
I'm still saying no.
Yeah, I'm saying at this point, if you were to get all this together and drink it all at one time, at the end, I'm saying Saffell over Rare Breed.
Okay, in terms of taste, what about in terms of purchasing?
It's hard to justify paying double. Yeah.
So there's your practical.
Because you don't always drink them all next to each other.
No, I mean, who does except for us? It's a couple of idiots in a garage.
It's on a Friday in a place that's a lot smaller than it looks.
Yeah, really. All right.
It is quite small.
It is. The rest of it's quite nice.
But yeah, it's very large.
Yeah. Anyway, this is tricky. This has been tricky.
The good thing is we don't have to decide.
It's true. But for the people who are watching saying, should I buy this?
Well, I think if you are a Wild Turkey fan, like we are, and you've got lots of Wild Turkey options, it's probably worth buying a bottle to explore another option where wild turkey distillate was used, but not necessarily by the Russells and in the way they would have used it. But just buy one. Don't buy two, even if your friend Dan says only one.
Only one?
Say yes, only one.
While you're at it, buy a t-shirt. We got 400.
Yeah, any samples we send will be wrapped in t-shirts.
Mm-hmm. I'm really torn on this because I do like it, but I don't love it. I think if it was like 50 to 70 for the full 750.
How about we do this? I will leave this open one here.
No,
I will take that one home and open it, and we'll drink it.
I think that's
and then before
accomplishable.
The only prerequisite or requirement is before we finish it, we bring it back on Friday sips and see what we think after we live.
I think we can make that happen.
Good.
Well, the bonus here is that we got to drip. We got to sip.
Drop.
We got to sip a lot of wild turkey product today, which is our favorites.
Yes.
So that was fun. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and say for the money, Russell's Reserve. For the reliably good rare breed, I really think this is just a well-rounded whiskey. Mm-hmm. For a splurge, going to a party, want to impress some people, that's good. You want Dan to love you forever?
Buy one of those.
Yeah.
And bring it here.
Yes.
That's a fair assessment. I'll stick with it.
All right.
Well, I'm not sure. Let me have that Russell spot.
All right, Russell. Go back to Russell. Now, keep in mind...
We don't have to keep the camera running for this.
No, we should, though. Keep in mind, this is a single barrel pick.
Yeah, they're going to all...
I still have some...
They're all going to vary. You just can't go wrong with these.
Yeah, they're just so reliable.
Okay, good times. Mm-hmm. Remember, no sips next Friday. Back the Friday after that. Thank you everybody for showing up. Kathy, thank you for putting Dan in his place where he belongs.
Kathy, go to Slow Guy on the Fast Ride Instagram and start leaving comments on Mark's rebuild.
Yeah, boy, if you ever needed some ammunition to keep somebody in their place, go check out the Rebuild Mark.
Yeah.
Project. I'm in bad shape. Bender, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Bender.
We've missed you.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.